At my sister's wedding, my husband got a call and stepped outside. I followed him out because he'd been acting strange for weeks. I heard him say, "Don't worry, babe. I'll be home soon." I watched him kiss the phone and laugh. The bride was still walking down the aisle. I said nothing. Later that night, during my maid of honor speech, I thanked everyone for their loyalty and then turned to him. Except one person. Who has another home to get back to tonight? You could hear the forks hit the floor. I'm not the kind of person who causes a scene. I've always been quiet.
Steady.
The one who holds things together, especially when the rest of the family falls apart. That's why nobody saw it coming when I dropped the hammer. My sister's wedding was on a Saturday in late October, just outside Asheville, North Carolina. She always wanted a rustic wedding, so she rented out this big, overpriced white barn with hanging lights and mason jars everywhere. Pinterest threw up all over that place. She was marrying a decent guy, honest, goofy, nothing fancy. They'd been together for years. She was glowing. I had never seen her that happy. I was the maid of honor. I helped her plan everything. Even helped her pick the damn venue. We had matching robes, got our nails done together, laughed over mimosas that morning. I wanted it to be perfect for her. But something wasn't right with Ray, my husband. We'd been married 6 years.
We used to be best friends.
Lately, though, he'd been cold. Not angry or mean, just distant. Always on his phone. Always stepping outside to take a call. I knew something was going on. My gut was screaming. But I pushed it down. I told myself I'd get through the wedding and deal with it after. No drama. No ruining my sister's day. I owed her that. That afternoon, the ceremony was about to start. The music began, some slow country song she picked because it made her cry. Everyone stood. She started walking down the aisle with our dad. It was a big moment. Then I saw Ray reach into his pocket. His phone buzzed. He looked at the screen, whispered something like, "I need a minute," and walked out the side door. Right in the middle of the damn ceremony. I waited 10 seconds. Maybe 15. Then I followed. I went out the side and stayed quiet. I moved toward the little side garden near the pond, past the string lights and bushes. That's when I heard him.
He was on the phone laughing.
Laughing. Then he said, in this low voice I hadn't heard in weeks, "Don't worry, babe. I'll be home soon." He dragged out the word babe like it meant something special. Then he kissed the phone. He kissed the phone. I felt like I'd been punched in the throat. I didn't cry. I didn't gasp. I didn't make a sound. I just stood there, frozen, like the wind had knocked every thought out of my head. He turned around and walked right past me without noticing, whistling. Whistling like he didn't just betray his wife while she stood in her bridesmaid dress, watching her sister walk down the aisle. I followed him back inside a minute later, sat beside him,
smiled when people looked our way,
played the part. Nobody knew. The reception was beautiful. Warm lights, good food, bad dancing. I even laughed a few times just to keep the mask on. Ray tried to act normal, like he hadn't gutted me an hour earlier. But I wasn't done. After dinner, they brought out the mic for speeches. Best man went first, some goofy toast full of inside jokes. Everyone laughed. Then it was my turn. I walked up to the mic, holding my phone in one hand.
My speech was typed out.
I'd written it a week ago. I didn't read it. I looked out at the room. My parents were beaming. My sister had her hand on her new husband's arm, smiling like she finally got her dream. Ray sat at the head table, wine in hand, pretending he was part of it. I cleared my throat. "Thank you all for being here today," I said. "Thank you for showing up for my sister. She deserves this happiness. She deserves every bit of it." People smiled, nodded. I saw cameras being raised. "I want to thank everyone for their love and their loyalty," I said, pausing for effect. "For showing up. For being honest. For standing by the people who love them." I let the silence build. Except one person. Heads turned. "Except one person," I said again, looking directly at Ray. "Who has another home to get back to tonight?" I watched his face collapse. You could hear it. Forks dropping, someone gasping. A wine glass clinking too hard on the table. Dead silence.
I followed you outside, I said.
During the ceremony, while my sister was walking down the aisle, you were on the phone. With her. You called her babe.
You told her you'd be home soon.
Then you kissed the phone. The room was still. I could feel people shrinking into their seats. I turned back to the guests. So forgive me if I don't raise my glass to love tonight, I said. Some of us know it's a lie. I put the mic down and walked off stage. People didn't know what to do. Some just stared. Others started whispering. My sister looked confused, her hand still halfway to her wine glass. Ray didn't chase me, and that told me everything I needed to know. I didn't cry that night. I drove back to our house in silence. No music, just the sound of the road and my hands gripping the wheel too hard. My dress felt too tight. My makeup itched. But I didn't stop. Ray didn't come home that night. He didn't text. Didn't call. Nothing. That told me everything I needed to know too. The next morning, my sister called.
Her voice was shaking.
What happened last night? She asked. Is he cheating? I didn't lie. I told her exactly what I heard. Exactly what I saw. Her breath caught like she was trying not to sob. She whispered, I'm so sorry. And then she hung up. A few hours later, Ray finally walked through the door. Same clothes. Red eyes. He looked at me like a stranger. You had no right to do that, he said. I stood there in the kitchen, barefoot, gripping a mug of cold coffee. You made your choices. I just gave them a microphone. He started to say something, stopped, then said, It's not what you think. That sentence broke something in me. I laughed.
Loud.
Harsh. The kind of laugh that only happens when you've stopped giving a damn. You think I didn't hear you? Word for word. I said. You told her you'd be home soon. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a confession. He sat down at the table like he was the one who'd been hurt. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I slammed the mug down on the counter. She meant enough to call during a wedding. She meant enough to kiss your phone. He didn't answer. Instead, he muttered, You embarrass me in front of everyone. That was it. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I was wrong. Just that I made him look bad. So, I made a decision. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just turned and walked into our bedroom, packed a bag, grabbed what I needed. He followed me, panicked. You're not serious. I'm not giving you the satisfaction of throwing me out, I said, zipping up my suitcase. I'm leaving on my own. Where are you going to go? I stared him dead in the face. Anywhere but here. I moved into a friend's guest room that night. Spent the next few days sitting with the mess in my head. The betrayal. The humiliation. The wasted years. I didn't tell anyone the full story. Not yet. But then something happened that pushed me over the edge. My friend Lisa called me into her living room one night, phone in her hand.
You need to see this, she said.
She handed me her phone. It was a Facebook post. From her. The woman. I didn't even know her name yet. Now I did. Her name was Danielle M., and she had posted a black and white picture of herself in a silk robe, my robe. The one Ray bought me, for our anniversary last year. The caption read, Home is where he is. Tagged location? Asheville, North Carolina.
I stared at it, jaw-locked.
Lisa said, That's your robe, isn't it? I nodded. She looked scared. What are you going to do? I stared at the screen, then said the only thing that made sense. I'm going to burn them down. The right way. I didn't rush into revenge. I waited. I planned. I'd spent 6 years being the calm one. The one who forgave, who fixed, who covered for people when they screwed up. Not anymore. Ray moved in with Danielle 2 weeks later. Didn't even try to hide it. That told me exactly how little I ever meant to him. He was already sharing furniture with her. Probably our furniture. Our dishes. I wondered if he gave her my old coffee mug, the one with the crack in the handle that I never threw out. I kept quiet, didn't post anything online. Let him believe I was gone. Let him feel safe. But I wasn't done. First, I went to my sister. Sat her down, Told her everything. I told her about the robe, the Facebook post, the fact that I recognized the background. Danielle had taken that picture in our bedroom. She didn't cry this time. She clenched her fists, her jaw tight. Then she looked me dead in the eyes.
She was at the wedding, she said.
I blinked. What? She was there. I didn't know who she was, but she was sitting in the back row during the ceremony. I remember thinking, why is that woman here alone? I felt my chest tighten. Danielle was there. She watched me walk down the aisle behind my sister. She watched Ray kiss me on the cheek. She knew who I was. And she smiled through all of it. That flipped a switch in me. It wasn't just betrayal anymore. It was cruelty. Deliberate. Smiling while she stabbed me, cruelty. So I started digging. Ray was sloppy. Always had been. He reused passwords. I remembered his go-to. Our wedding date, reversed. Logged into his email. I found photos, texts, screenshots. But what really got me were the hotel receipts. Multiple.
Same chain.
All paid with our joint card, the one I never bothered to monitor because I trusted him.
Mistake.
Then I found something even better. An email thread between him and Danielle talking about selling my car. My car. It was in my name, bought with my down payment, but I let him drive it while his truck was in the shop. They were joking about how dumb I was to never notice anything. Ray wrote, "She's too busy playing big sister to realize I'm unloading this junk." Danielle replied, "LOL. Can't wait till she finds out the hard way." That's when the rage stopped being loud and became something sharp and quiet. I called my cousin Eric. He's a mechanic.
Good guy, solid.
Always liked me more than Ray. I gave him the VIN number and told him to run it. Told him I had a feeling something shady was going on. He called me the next day. "They forged your signature," he said. "Title got transferred to some guy in Knoxville. You didn't sign that title."
No.
I did not. That's when I knew I had them. I went to the police. Brought every document, every email, every screenshot, the forged signature, the joint account charges, everything. The detective I spoke to wasn't warm, but he listened. Asked a lot of questions.
Took it seriously.
"Give me a week," he said. "If this checks out, they're both in a lot of trouble." But I wasn't done waiting. While the investigation was unfolding, I sent Danielle a message. Just one. It said, "I hope your new home feels like prison, because it's coming." She read it. Didn't reply. 3 days later, she deleted every single post off her Facebook. Her account went dark. Ray called me. Finally. I let it ring twice, then answered. "What did you do?" he snapped. "You shouldn't have sold my car, Ray." "You went to the cops?" I smiled, even though he couldn't see it. "You kissed your phone during my sister's wedding," I said. "Now kiss your ass goodbye." The fallout came faster than I expected. A week after my call with Ray, the detective got back to me. The title signature was confirmed as forged. The buyer in Knoxville? He gave a statement, said Ray told him his wife had already signed everything. Ray didn't just commit fraud. He dragged Danielle into it, too. Turns out, she helped him list the car. Used her email, her phone number. She even drove the car to the meetup. So now it wasn't just theft, it was conspiracy. They both got arrested. It happened on a Thursday morning. Ray at his new job, handcuffed in front of coworkers. Danielle at the nail salon where she worked, dragged out mid-pedicure. Someone filmed it. I didn't post the video, but I watched it. Over and over. Ray shouting, "This is a mistake." Danielle crying. I didn't know. But they knew. They just didn't think I'd fight back. The charges? Fraud, falsifying documents, unauthorized sale of property. And because they used our joint bank account to pay for hotel rooms and gifts, I pushed for restitution. The DA agreed. Ray pled out. Danielle too. Both got probation, fines, and criminal records. Ray lost his job. Danielle got fired, too. Nobody wants to hire a thief with a mugshot. They had to sell a bunch of stuff to pay me back. I made sure of it. I didn't need the money. I just wanted them to hurt every time they looked at their empty apartment. But here's the part that still stings. I stayed too long. I saw signs and ignored them. I let myself become invisible in my own marriage. I kept giving and giving, hoping he'd see me again. That was my mistake. People praised me for how I handled it. Said I was brave, that I had perfect timing at the wedding. But what they didn't see were the nights I stared at the ceiling wondering how I missed it, wondering how I became someone so easy to lie to. Revenge doesn't fix everything. It doesn't take back the wasted years. But it gave me something I hadn't had in a long time: control. I moved into a new place. Got a cheap little apartment with creaky floors and ugly countertops. But it was mine. No lies in the walls. No secrets in the drawers. One night, about a month later, I got a message from Danielle. It said, "You ruined our lives. I hope you're happy."
I stared at it for a long time.
Then I replied, "You kissed my husband at my sister's wedding. I hope that was worth a felony." She never wrote back. Ray tried once, too. Sent me a long email. Apologies. Regret. He said he messed up, that he was in a bad place, and that he hoped we could talk someday.
I didn't reply.
I printed it. Then I lit it on fire in the sink. Because some people don't get a second chance. Some people have to learn the hard way that when you burn someone loyal, someone who loved you without condition, what you're really doing is setting your own life on fire. And I'll stand back and watch it burn every time.